news with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
So Missouri has become the first state to file a lawsuit against China. This happened on Tuesday, accusing the country of being responsible for the severity of the coronavirus pandemic and seeking damages to make up for, quote, the enormous loss of life, human suffering, and economic turmoil resulting from the disease. This is according to Fox News. The suit in the Eastern District of Missouri follows at least 7 federal class action suits that have been filed by private groups, with one filed in Florida saying that China knew COVID-19 was dangerous and capable of causing a pandemic. And it also comes on the heels of 22 Republican lawmakers on Monday requesting that the Trump administration bring a case against China to the International Court of Justice for the country's actions.
If you work at the International Court of Justice, you better have a cool outfit. You know what I mean? Like a judge's robe, but tailored tight to show off the guns and quads.
Right.
It sounds fake, like something from Windy City Heat, like the president of show business.
Right. You should have like a giant golden gavel, and like you should have something cool if you work for that organization. Well, it's interesting. So, you know, I always kid Mark Garagos, like, who are you going to sue next? And I always kid, like, you're going to sue the Pacific Ocean and stuff like that. And a few months ago, I would have kid that Mark Garagos sue China.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but we're kind of there now.
It's on the table.
And they've cost us and the world countless lives and money. There's some history here, and then there was also some negligence. And then the only question is not were they wrong, but how do you collect?
Well, it's got to be symbolic, right?
No, I think we owe them money.
We owe them money?
I think the way we collect is we don't give them the money, or we keep their money. So, and somebody can look into this. But, I mean, you know, there's that whole thing. Like, remember, God, what was it? Was it Iraq? Where did we 5 years ago, we went and loaded up billions of dollars and brought it over, gave them their money back. Like, we have people's money here that's their money, but it's on our soil or in the form of real estate or in the form of something, right? So I think when we're talking about suing, we're talking about not giving them what's theirs. So it's basically your neighbor borrowed your deluxe barbecue to throw a party, and then later on you shot his dog.
And now you're square?
I may be oversimplifying this, but it may be more nuanced. It may be more nuanced. I don't know. But basically, now we go, hey, I want my deluxe barbecue back. And the neighbor goes, fuck you, you shot my dog.
I want my dog back.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'll be on C-SPAN later tonight explaining some of the ins and outs of this nuanced argument. But I kind of think that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Or that's what the plan is.
That's something, because I thought, okay, yeah, like you said about Garagos, go sue China, see how that goes for you. But if it's not about extracting something, it's about keeping something, then that makes sense.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of people's, you know, in the form of real estate and in the form of cash. I can't remember, Max Paddock can look it up, but we literally brought cash like back to Iran or Iraq. I can't remember, a few years back. Like, we returned their money. You know, it was on our soil.
It can be done.
The debt to China is $1 trillion.
Okay, that should do it.
So we got a bar tab with them, and one of the folks at the bar just got food poisoning from your mimosa, and then we shot his dog.
What time are you on tonight, just so we can tune in to MSNBC?
Well, I think that's kind of what's going on. We're not going to pay our tab then.
Yeah. That totally makes sense. Well, the governors of Georgia, Tennessee, and South Carolina on Monday afternoon announced new plans to bring their states' economies closer to full force amid all this slowing from the outbreak.
And by the way, I was just looking here, but everyone's going to do it. Japan owes them more than we owe them.
Okay. So this will be interesting.
Who's not going to do this?
Yeah. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp said certain businesses, including gyms, hair salons, things like that, can reopen this Friday. Meanwhile, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee confirmed his state stay-at-home order, previously extended to April 30th, will end April 30th. And South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster said businesses previously deemed non-essential, like department stores, flea markets, florists, bookstores, music shops, they can reopen. Kemp said Monday that his state would expand COVID testing. Hospitals are in a position to resume elective surgeries. And we talked the other day, movie theaters in Georgia will be allowed to reopen, and restaurants can resume in-person dining on April 27th.
Does anyone know anything about the movie theater reopening? Is it the theater holds 200 and will accept 55 people?
Well, that's kind of what we talked about the other day. We just had played a clip of the Frida Cinema, I think, in somewhere in California on KFI, which is saying basically like you black out certain seats, so you will still be social distancing. They will see to it. Yeah,
so instead of 300 people, you have 80 people, and there's two seats
and you wear a mask. Yeah.
I got to tell you, the goddamn seats are so big at theaters now, like full reclining, full big wide body seats. I mean, think about the seats we sat in as kids in a theater.
Yeah.
Like folding chairs.
Folding chairs. Yeah.
The joke used to be, oh, it's the tall guy sits in front of you can't see the movie.
Right.
That's not an issue anymore. The tiered seating and everything.
Yeah, the stadium
seating.
It's fantastic.
It makes you wonder what movies they're going to go see, though, because nobody's actually releasing any movies right now.
That's
like,
a good
if George
point.
would be like, hey, let's go see Peanut Butter Falcon. I guess it's still showing.
It's still there.
That's interesting. Yeah, what is coming out? I was devastated when I found out that Fast 9, or is it 10, got pushed back a year, but equally devastated that Tom Hanks Greyhound Sub Hunter World War II movie got bumped too, because I love a Fast and Furious franchise, but I love me a World War II Tom Hanks movie, especially maritime disaster and Wolf Pack, German subs, the whole 9 yards. I was pumped for that bad boy.
Well, you're the only one that I can think of besides Phil Rosenthal that could actually really enjoy that movie in their home. Otherwise, you're not getting the whole experience.
That's true.
Sitting in my movie theater right now. That's true.
Yeah. So
wait a minute. I got reclining seats.
Yeah. What are you complaining about?
I should recline.
Relax.
Let's see how that works.
It's almost like you're literally a millionaire.
Oh, that's
We'll wait.
Sweet. That is sweet.
Damn, that goes back far.
Let me tell you but let me tell you guys the downside of being uber successful like myself.
Explain that to Ken.
I'll explain it. Ken, you listening, buddy? Pull up a stool. I'm going to recline in my Corinthian leather seats, and let me pass a little wisdom on to you. I built this theater. I paid for it and essentially built a lot of it myself, the risers and all that kind of stuff, did a lot of acoustic stuff. And I hadn't really been using it, but the other night, I said to my 13-year-old son, I said, boy, we're going to go down there and we're going to use that theater, and I'm going to show you one of my favorite movies, Master and Commander, Russell Crowe. Love that goddamn movie, and you're going to love it too, and you're old enough to love it too. And I said, we're going to watch it. We got a date tonight. Went down here, found it, fired it up. He got about 25 minutes into it, and he just looked at me, and he's like, can I leave? And I was like, to do what? He's like, I'm going to go upstairs and play video games on my telephone. And I'm like, Master Commander. And he just went, I just don't care. I don't care what happens to Russell Crowe. I'm not rooting for anybody.
Wow.
And I was like, God damn you. And then he got up and left. And then I just got up and left and went back in my den and watched TJ Hooker. And that was the end of the night.
Here's the problem with teens today. Everybody knows this. They don't care about the Napoleonic Wars. And it's bullshit.
If you've said it once, you've said it 1,000 times.
I know. And also, you can't draw them into anything because there's a kid on the boat and he's the same age. You know, they had like 13-year-olds. It's always so crazy how young, what kind of peril they would take 11-year-old boys and 13-year-old boys and sort of how they'd put them in harm's way. But there was no connection. He went upstairs, had a Hot Pocket, and that was the end. That was the end of our evening. So, sorry, Gina, go ahead.
Well, this story is actually making the real news, so I'm bringing it up and tempted to know what Dr. Zelenko thinks. Scientists and doctors are still learning a lot about the coronavirus, how it's transmitted, and at least 2 doctors in Australia are researching whether the virus can be passed through passing gas. During an Australian Broadcasting Corporation podcast last week, 2 doctors suggested that farting could dispel fecal particles into the air, which contain the virus. More research is still needed, and everyone is more than happy to let these 2 guys handle it. But if they prove that the virus can travel through passing gas, there is some good news because they believe it may only be transmitted through, and I quote, bare bottom farting. So if you have your pants on, we're probably all going to be okay.
Well, first off, yeah, you don't have to worry about the ones that make a lot of noise, but the silent but deadly.
Deadly.
Oh,
The
it's right
word
there.
deadly is right in the title.
Right there, man.
That's right.
Pants are just a face mask you put on your ass.
The more you know.
So there you go.
Well said.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I may have lost my will to live because I may have lost my love of farting. I used to really enjoy it. I don't know. Maybe it was when I had male roommates and one of them would like fall asleep on the couch on their back or something. You'd feel a good one coming on. He'd just fart on their head. Maybe it's that. Maybe there's something about not having a contemporary young male roommate to fart on that's made me kind of lose my edge.
If you did that to one of your family members, that'd be considered a hate crime.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Assault.
That's right. Child Protective Services.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. The fart humor is kind of up there with sexuality, and in that you would never know what package it comes in. Like, you know, Ken Jennings could be a complete horn dog in the bedroom. He could be a madman in the bedroom.
Sure.
You wouldn't think it to see him, but I'm sure he's a maniac in the bedroom, right?
Insatiable.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Like Dr. Drew laughs harder at farting than anyone you've ever met in your life, and you just wouldn't think it was that guy. You know, your reaction either in the bedroom or to fart humor cannot be gauged by looking at you or your title or degrees on the wall. Yes?
Apparently. That's fair, yeah. So during the NFL draft, which starts Thursday, fans will be able to boo Commissioner Roger Goodell. This is all thanks to Bud Light. So here's how it works. Bud Light is asking fans to record their boos on Twitter, then post that video and tag Bud Light with the hashtag #BooTheCommish. Bud Light will be collecting these boos through Saturday, April 25th through that hashtag, and they'll donate $1 for the NFL Draftathon up to $500,000. So the Draftathon is a fundraising campaign designed to give aid to COVID-19 relief efforts. Goodell will be in front of his camera at home in his basement in Bronxville, New York, when the announcing first starts. The commissioner will hear the boos as he's announcing the selection, just like he would at a regular NFL draft.
Speaking of the draft, I was watching that Michael Jordan, was it The Last Dance? Last Waltz? Yeah, thinking of the band's Last Waltz. Anyway, there's a part that I love. My favorite part about that entire doc, I mean, by far, I love all the highlights. I love all the behind the scenes. I love everything. But the part that I love the most is that Michael Jordan's mom refers to Michael Jordan's father as Mr. Jordan, that she refers to him as Mr. Jordan. She does not use his first name. She does not call him Mike's dad. She goes, Mr. Jordan always felt X, Y, and Z. I love that woman. I know she's single. Well, I don't know, but I like it. It's like a weird old school respect. I'm not sure where it comes from. I don't know where she got it. I think there's something to do. I think both his parents are like super disciplined people, and I don't know what the origins of it are, but I like it.
Was his dad killed in his car over gambling dets?
He was killed.
Well, he was killed in his car. We don't know why.
I don't think it was gambling debts. I think it was just killed in his car by like kind of thugs. But it's been long enough, is what I'm saying. I'm saying black don't crack. Hey, You can do a lot worse than dating Michael Jordan's mom.
A lot worse.
You know what I mean? Like, it'd be a little tough at the beginning. You're like, I'm seeing a 77-year-old. What?
Wait for it.
Hold on.
It's Michael Jordan's mom. It'd go right from to let me smell your dick. I got to be honest with you.
It's the number one. It's the number one question I ask if somebody tells me they're dating a 77-year-old. Like, the first thing I always ask is it Michael Jordan's mom? You got to know.
You've been disappointed so many times.
Yeah, poor. No, it's James Worthy. Oh, poor Ken was devastated. It's Michael Cooper's mom.
John Sally's mom.
Yeah, it's Ramos's mom. Okay.
I thought
maybe someone who's.
It was just Kurt Rambis in a wig.
Maybe it's someone who never played in the NFL. Who knows? Yeah,
Brian,
she calls him Mr. Jordan. I don't know why I love that.
It's interesting that you said, wasn't he killed over gambling debts? Because we're literally just having this conversation the other night. I didn't know, and please correct me if I'm wrong, did Michael Jordan, and I wonder if they're going to get into this, have a bit of a gambling monkey on his back?
This is NBA lore. Talk to sports guy Simmons about this sometime. People, talk about it like Jordan's dad was killed over his gambling debts, and then Jordan was kicked out of the league because he was gambling.
And went to play baseball to recoup some expenses.
There's a whole conspiracy.
Understood. This is something I'm just learning for the first time.
Never proven, of course, but, talked about.
Gotcha.
I guess his dad was like driving, maybe at a rest stop or something, and somebody just killed him and maybe robbed him. And I can't remember all the details, but it was kind of like an Ennis Cosby, Bill Cosby's son kind of thing, where it's like he was just driving, got a flat, pulled over, and someone killed him. But I don't know the conspiracy part. Like, I'm not sure if they can connect it. I think they found the guy. Mm-hmm. And this was, I think, after Jordan's playing career, but maybe not much after.
No.
It was
right
during.
In the middle.
Right in the middle.
It was after he won. It was after he won his second or third championship. We can look it up. I think it was mid-90s.
Was it in the middle?
Wait, when they caught the guy, or when dad was killed?
No, when his dad was killed.
I'm almost positive.
Oh, okay.
I would have to look it up to verify, but I'm pretty sure it was the mid-90s.
We'll look it up. Yeah, Chris says 1993. That is early. No.
It was after his second or third championship. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Interesting. And then they caught the guy, I guess, but what was the – well, we'll figure out the controversy in a second.
I don't have the details, but, some NBA geek probably could tell you.
There might be some stuff online or something. Because, I'm not sure. At the time, they just played it off like it was a random killing and a random robbery, and they didn't know who the guy was. I mean, he didn't know it was Mr. Jordan. All right. Well, whatever info we find out about that.
So in 93, Jordan Sr. pulls over on a highway in North Carolina to take a nap. And these two guys come up to him. They see him in this red Lexus SC400 that Michael purchased for him. And they shot Michael Jordan's dad to death while he slept in the car. And then they stole the vehicle. And then they saw there were two NBA championship rings in there. And then they made some calls from Jordan Sr.'s cell phone, and that's how they were captured. And then when they were testified, they said they were just meant to tie up the victim, and one of the guys pulled the trigger for no reason.
First off, the scariest people on the planet are the people just stumble along and find someone and then go, so we killed him.
Right.
Or, it's like, wow. Like the part where you're poisoning your wife and trying to collect the insurance money, I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. But the part where just
nuts.
You're on board.
This guy's at a rest stop and he seems to be sleeping in his car. Why don't we shoot him? Like, wow. How much more dangerous could a citizen be than that? So hopefully these guys are in for a long time. Yeah, sad. But also, would you guys ever feel comfortable pulling over at a rest stop and taking a nap?
Done it in the middle of the night on the way back from Vegas, which is not what I would recommend. So me and two of my best friends, we were at the Bellagio and we were all wired up and we were like, well, let's beat the traffic. It's, 2, 3 in the morning. We're all awake. And the second we got past Palace Station, we all just started like nodding off. And my friend was like, we got to pull over. So it was like literally an abandoned rest stop with a couple of, 10-wheeler, big Mack trucks parked next to us. And we're like, well, we hope this isn't how it ends, but we can't drive like this. And so we slept for like an hour and a half.
Adam,
I wouldn't recommend it.
You remember my dinky little pickup truck I had back when I was screening calls at Loveline?
Yeah,
Chevy,
right?
Chevy S10,
Right.
short cab, whatever. And it was the end of the semester at USC. I packed up all my stuff to bring end of the school years, and I packed up all my stuff, stayed up all night packing, and then come 6 in the morning or whatever, I was like, well, I stayed up all night packing. Might as well just drive home now. And halfway up the 5, the Grapevine to the Bay Area, I literally nodded off for about 2 seconds and came to with a jolt. And at that point, I decided I had to pull over and take a nap. But I was in a pickup truck that didn't have a shell or anything, so I napped on top of my stuff because I couldn't guarantee that someone was going to take it.
I mean, if you're going to fall asleep behind the wheel and die, that's the perfect time to try sleeping at a rest stop. Because if you get murdered, it's a wash.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's a nice surprise.
And Gina, you're probably would be safe, like you and your friends at a rest stop, because any nefarious characters who are up to no good would probably spot you guys and be like, don't do it. Those police women are dressed like whores. It's a setup.
That's a trap.
It's a trap. There's no way three hot chicks would just come here and fall asleep.
That's the worst sting operation ever.
It's
too easy. Yeah. All right, let's do one more, Gina Grad.
All right, let's see. Let's get off the virus stuff. Land O'Lakes. I know the story's been out for a few days, but we haven't talked about it yet. As it approaches its 100th anniversary, there's reports that Land O'Lakes butter is marking the occasion with a new look. They're getting rid of the American Indian Butter Maiden, which I did not know was her official title, and replacing it with trees. And we have the two pictures up for comparison. The American Indian woman depicted had a feather in her hair, was kneeling, holding up a container of butter. This has been on the package for, like 100 years. The logo had long been criticized as racist and stereotypical, with North Dakota Representative Ruth Buffalo. She said, hand in hand, this image goes hand in hand with human and sex trafficking of our women and girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. I just want some shit on my toast. I don't want to take a deep dive into human trafficking, but okay.
That's solved. Now human trafficking is solved.
I would argue that people do more damage by planting ideas that would have never crossed my mind. All I would have thought is, well, I guess there's an Indian population and over there, and she seems like a nice lady, and I want some toast.
And
but
what are we going to do
with
with the Swiss Miss girl or the St. Pauli girl?
I don't think we have a problem with the sort of Anglo appropriation stuff. You know what I mean? I think Whitey can hang. You know, I think the Swiss Miss gal, the Ricola guy is going to be fine. The Swedish bikini team. You see, these people are untouchable.
I see. Okay,
we're gonna focus. Look, at some point, we're not there yet, but at some point, the Jeep Cherokee is going to have to drop Cherokee and go with Jeep Oppressor or something. You know what I mean? Like Blue Eyed Devil or something, which I would buy if someone named an off-road vehicle the Blue Eyed Devil. But we're going to have to start stripping names of SUVs, right?
I see. Sure.
Well, I mean, if somebody called their SUV the Christopher Columbus in the 60s, you probably might have to get rid of that one by now, right?
No, that would be the what's the new day called? Oh, the
Indigenous
Dodge
Peoples Day,
Indigenous Peoples Day, which doesn't have the same ring.
And of course, the aforementioned. Wait a minute, did you mention the General Lee
earlier during the game show?
Yeah, that car.
Yeah,
with the Dixie flag on the roof. That's
doesn't stand the test of time.
Problematic.
No, it does not. So they're going to get rid of the Land O'Lakes Maiden.
Butter Maiden.
Because it represents oppression or human trafficking in the sex trade?
Yes.
That's right.
Okay. See, my feeling is, I don't know. So we just go with some sort of innocuous something for everything. You know what I mean? Like we don't name a team the Warriors or the whatever.
The try real harders.
Yeah, like it's just kind of everything just gets painted beige, and then who cares? And then I don't know. I could make some positive arguments for being reminded of a culture or a tribe or something like that. I don't know why, I don't know why it's, Florida State, whether they're Seminoles.
Right.
All right. So they pick a fierce fighting or proud or whatever, and then they name their team after it. I don't know. It seems
there's
like
any number of teams that are named after, a tribe, the Illini, the Utes, they're just,
the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's offensive.
The Nebraska Corn Hustlers. I think
that
was a tribe.
No. Corn Huskers.
Again, I was 9 and from North Hollywood and had no idea what a husk was.
Right.
Why would you?
But I did know from the canola oil commercial that their oil was made with maize. We call it. That's what you call corn. So I learned everything I needed to know about the plight of the American indigenous Indian by canola oil commercials, the Land O'Lakes butter lady, and the movie Billy Jack. Between those three things, I fucking was an expert on those people.
Pretty well-rounded.
Yeah.
Even canola oil is a corporate renaming. Did you know that? It was like a Canadian rebranding of rapeseed oil because nobody wants to think they're using rapeseed oil for good reason.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. Vinny's mentioned that.
That is correct. That was on one of the flashcards that Ken was studying before they went to the championship round.
I'm looking over your flashcards. What's a rapeseed? Why are you studying it?
Well, like I do every weeknight, honey. Leave me alone.
All right, Gina, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina.
That was the news with Gina Grad.